Ugh, getting old. Someday I'll have an actual studio space, but for now, floor troll. Floor troll! Hello! Welcome back to another episode of I Feel Anxious, and so I just want to make something cool. Did you get a little haircut yesterday? Come here, show the people. Wow! Your hair was getting absolutely out of control. See ya. I've said this before, and you're probably tired of me saying this, but right now I think it's important for me to make stuff that gets me excited. This week, I just didn't feel like sewing practical items of clothing, and instead, I would like to make something a little different. Now, in lieu of there being no Renaissance festivals, kind of wanted to get into medieval Renaissance spirit, make some casual armor. Pretty much ever since I did that made up aesthetics video, and Nightcore was one of them, it made me realize how much I love when people incorporate strange, out of the norm, I guess, accessories into their outfits. Accessories that look like armor, fancy harnesses, or just belts everywhere. I've always been drawn to that specifically, and I don't particularly know why that is. I think maybe because I'm sure some other cosplayers can back this up, that when you put on a piece of armor, you feel like a badass. So who wouldn't want to harness that energy in normal outfits? So that's what I'm... Excuse me? Jubba jubba, jubba jubba. And so that is what I wanted to do for the next couple days. I want to make and design casual armor, which possibly I could add onto my existing outfits, possibly my vintage outfits. Just because, you know, I feel like in terms of practicality, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It will be made out of materials that would not protect me from anything. But you know what? If I've learned anything during this quarantine, it's that practicality doesn't matter, and style is an illusion. Fashion is a made-up concept. Anything about that? As I mentioned earlier, the kind of inspiration for this kind of comes from Renaissance fairs, and the fact that when you go to a Renaissance fair, people will just throw on a little bit of armor and kind of make an outfit out of it. So I suppose you could say it's kind of like Disney bounding, fair bounding. Ow, stop, that hurts. Yeah. So the process of this video, first we will go into the designs. I have already drawn up 3 ideas that I am ambitiously going to try to make. And then I will show you the materials. I'm hoping to get all the kind of skeletons built today, and then tomorrow we'll come back and paint everything. Yeah, I don't know, this is what I feel like making this week. Let's head over to design phase. Like I said, I have already gone and drawn up a couple designs, and first, this shoulder piece, one main piece and then a piece underneath it. I would cover it in this sort of floral faux leather that I have, which I will show you later. Neck guard, a chunky necklace. But the idea behind this was kind of like a Daenerys type thing, where I had probably foam scales and then all painted to look like leather. And then finally, a pretty basic chest piece. So those are the 3 designs. I'm really hoping that I can make all 3 in a couple days, but we'll see. As far as materials, so yesterday I went to the craft store. To my surprise, the worbla was very cheap. I think it was on sale or on clearance or something, but a big hunka burnin' worbla was only $40, at least $80 worth of worbla. So, which if you don't know, worbla is a sort of thermoplastic which you can heat up and form. And then while I was at it, I bought a couple rolls of different weights of their EVA foam. I learned through a cosplay group when I got home that this is not the best quality of EVA foam. I don't use the best quality of anything, and I seem to get by just fine, so. Then I have this faux leather fabric, using this to make straps. For the pauldrons, I have this really beautiful faux leather floral patterns. I use this for my Ash cosplay. couple years ago now. Foam sheets, because I use these constantly. And then I think that's about it for supplies. Oh, am I already sweaty? I am, but you can't tell. That's the plan. My body is ready. Is yours. So let's get started. Now you may know I sort of have an aversion to doing mock-ups, and that, my friends, is purely out of laziness. A little bit of stubbornness thrown in there. But for this, I am going to do a quick mock-up just to get the general size. I've got a couple pieces of paper here. If I can find a pen. Graceful. I might need to be a little bit bigger than that, but that might work for the bottom layer. So I've got a shape that Mulder would be proud of. Yes, okay. I can transfer this onto the worbla. And I'm thinking that I will end up with 4 pieces because worbla is pretty thin. Really helps to double layer it.
The next day.
Yep, it's now day 2 because in true me fashion, I did not get everything done that I wanted to get done yesterday because I guess my motto in life is, why do today what you can self-sabotage and stress about tomorrow? Basically, I'm just going to talk through what I've done so far, and then today will be a day of creation. So first of all, on the shoulder pauldrons, I'm pretty much all set with those except for the strap and what I did for that. Now worbla has one side that's a little shiny and smooth, and that's kind of like the adhesive side. So basically I took the 2 pieces, heated them up, and then put those 2 adhesive sides together, and then that creates one thicker layer of worbla. So then it came down to shaping it. Now to do that, I have a handy dandy tool, which looks like this. Makes me feel like Jareth from The Labyrinth.
Wow.
You remind me of the babe. What babe? This is a tool that I learned about when I was making my Wonder Woman armor. To put it plainly, to carve out the booby areas. Comes in handy when you need to make a rounded shape, a rounded shoulder shape, and also feel like David Bowie. So after I had the top shaped out, of course, then I did the bottom layer. And then once those were both shaped, I covered them with contact cement. Now I did this downstairs because contact cement is not a good to breathe. So I went downstairs and put on my very attractive mask, covered the surfaces in contact cement. Now my contact cement is a little bit old, does in fact look like a giant can of boogers. Ew. So I let that dry down till it was tacky, then I brought them upstairs and I took that faux leather, laid it on there, trying to stretch it out as much as I can. The bottom one worked a lot better than the top one, and I think that's because the top one dips in over here. It was a little wrinkly. I ended up deciding it looked kind of cool, and it looks like it was a little bit done on purpose, or at least that's what I keep telling myself. I brought them back downstairs, put contact cement around the edges on the inside, folded the fabric over. So now I have these 2 pieces that are covered in fabric. This is what I got. Shing, shing. I'm gonna ignore the fact that it looks like a cockroach and it fits very nicely just on the tip of my shoulder. Just, you know, it doesn't like pop out. Now all I have to do is add a strap, which I will be doing today. So I did start work on the collar necklace thing. Again, I made a mock-up, but this time I made it out of foam so that I could actually see how it was going to lay on my collarbone and such. Again, I just transferred it onto the worbla, made 2 pieces per side. Once I had those pieces, I heat formed it, made sure that it fell and wasn't sticking straight out. For the front piece, I wanted to make sure that at the shoulders it curved in a bit, and then towards the bust it curved down. I'll show you what I have so far. These are the 2 pieces. So this is the front piece, and then the back piece. So that's what I did yesterday. Now today, my plan is to add the scales, cut out all the individual scales that I need, but you know, it's not that much surface area, so I don't think it'll be that time consuming. So yeah, I will probably use hot glue for this. Wish me luck.
Much later.
Okay, so that took far too long. It was also kind of therapeutic. You know, it's kind of like when you give a kid some macaroni art to work on. Now that those are all secured on there, I am going to Plasti Dip. It's basically like a rubberized spray paint. It's also very satisfying to watch things get covered in a coat of Plasti Dip, which you will see right now. Alright, so now that that is settling and drying, I can move on to the third and final armor piece. Did I bite off a little more than I could chew this week? You darn tootin'. I think this one should be relatively simple. I'm just going to make a mock-up shape for the chest armor and maybe like a little back piece. Oops. So it is now day 3, supposed to be the day where I upload this video, but here we are. Could this have been avoided with proper time management skills? Yes. Will I learn my lesson? Probably not. Everything is prepped for painting, so today it's just going to be about doing that and weathering everything and then making the straps and enclosures. Here we go. Alright, so for painting, I'm going to start with this baby right here. I'll probably go chronological like that. This one shouldn't need too much painting. I'm just gonna go in and darken up the edges. This baby, which I'm very excited about, finished Plasti Dipping it and then I spray painted it a base coat of brown. I do want to make it look like leather, which it already kind of does, which is nice. To help that out a bit, I'm gonna go in and darken in between the scales. And then finally, getting old. Someday I'll have an actual studio space, but for now, floor troll. Floor troll! You didn't really get to see much as I left off yesterday, but basically I covered the edges. So it look like. This one is definitely the one that I'm least excited about, but I think maybe once I add the straps, it'll look interesting. So for the paint job for this one, just gonna make it look like leather. That's that, and then we can get started on the straps. Go team! Okay. So I just got done putting the straps onto the little feather armor piece we have here. Strips of the faux leather fabric I have. These are just glued on here, and these are actually googly eyes that I painted. Cosplay hack. On this side, these two are glued, and then there's some Velcro right here, which is not so subtly hidden. So I'm gonna use those same kind of straps for the breastplate and back plate. We're almost done. Home stretch. So everything is done. That means, hey Mikey, that it is time to sleep. Basically all I've got left to do is figure out what the heck I'm gonna wear with all of these and then do the reveal. So I will see you bright and early in the morning. Why, hello there. Are you worried that your outward appearance is too approachable? Does your resting bitch face not do the job? Listen, have I got the thing for you. Casual armor. Say goodbye to anyone thinking that you're sane enough to interact with. Are you ready to say f you to the general fashion of today's youths? Casual armor! And channel your inner medieval swamp hag warrior. Do you want to protect yourself from falling debris, but only really specific parts of your body? Casual armor! How many times do I have to say it, folks? It's the perfect way to show how much you don't want to be in 2020 anymore and are ready for battle, but maybe like a Nerf gun battle. But don't just take my word for it. Casual armor. Casual armor is not guaranteed to actually protect from maiming by sword, spear, or arrows. Ta-da! Those are all 3 pieces of armor. Casual armor. I am pretty happy with how they came out. I think this one is definitely my favorite one. I'm a sucker for details, so I feel like this one visually has a lot going on and it's a lot more fun to look at. A little easier to style. Does have that necklace quality. The other 2 were a little bit harder for me to blend with an outfit, especially the shoulder pauldron, but I think that if I were to make another one and kind of have like a crisscross harness type situation with the belts, that would look a little bit better. I think it's just a little bit weird that it's on one shoulder. And then the chest plate and the back plate, I actually like a lot better than I thought I would. I don't know, I had a lot of fun even though I did run over time constraint for this. I hope that you guys had fun watching. I know this is a little bit different than my other vintagey and sewing videos. I gotta sneeze. A couple of months ago, some of you were asking for kind of a basic armor making kind of video, so I feel like this could maybe help with that in case you were thinking of making your own armor, even though I know Renaissance fairs are mostly out of the question right now, but you know, that's where casual armor comes in. You see what I'm saying? You can wear it anywhere. So I like the concept of blending unusual things with normal outfits, so, you know, if you guys want to give casual armor a try, you definitely should, because it's an experience. Make sure you tag me and let me see. Let's make casual armor a thing. Why not? We got nothing better to do. And just to let you guys know, next week I will be on a kind of week-long camping trip, so I will not be uploading next week. Thank you all for your patience. I think this week-long camping trip will help me clear my mind and clear my motivation levels and get me excited to work on stuff. That is it. I love you guys, whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every Friday, except for today. And we have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Fare thee well. You like that? Ow! Stop that. You think just because you got the cutest little pink toe beans that you can do whatever you want. Cute. I would just like to say that if you're ever feeling bad, just be thankful you're not a plant in the Maksy household. I tried so hard and got so far. Where? There's only so many places I can put things in this house yet. I constantly amaze myself. Why do today what you can't? Why do today what you can self-sell? This is the one. Crying hard as babes could cry. That would have been bad. So right now, I'm gonna get work. I'm pretty excited about how everything. Please, have some decency.